Good morning, everyone. How's everyone doing this lovely Saturday? I'm DSP, and welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. Today is Saturday, and you know what that means? It's React Day. It is June 24th, 2023. It is a fun and chill time. It's time to relax, sit back, and have some fun interaction before we head over to my sister channel, DSP Reacts, for my weekly clip show, DSP versus the Internet. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all enjoying not only the week, and the weekend, which began, of course, but also all the content that I've been putting out recently. 2 straight days of gaming. First, we had a full day of Final Fantasy XVI's premiere, and then we had a full day of Street Fighter 6 coverage with some variety in the character selection. I'll be talking about that today as I get you all caught up on my journey to learn Street Fighter 6 and basically get good. And the good news is that there is definitely some huge progress at this point. I'm very pleased with my progress. I'm actually doing much better than I thought that I would. And that's obviously a good thing. But we'll talk about that in a bit. Of course, now we're going to have some variety. The React stuff today and the return of Zelda tonight, which I know many of you are excited for. I've really been enjoying the Zelda gameplay, quite frankly. And we don't really get to play it that much, which I knew would happen, being such a lengthy game. Did you know that we're over 40 hours into Zelda? We are. We're over 40 hours in. Any other game, you'd be like, oh, well, that's great. You're probably almost done. And with Zelda, it's like, no, you know, we're still going. We're still exploring. We still have a million other things to do before we can even get to the end. It's like, that's what happens, man. It released at a time when I knew all these other games were going to be coming out and were going to be a huge priority for me. But I'm pressing forward, making good progress. I'm ready for that chill fun tonight. More Final Fantasy tomorrow. You know, Diablo now hitting the mix, and so we're going to have a good amount of both Zelda and Diablo balanced back and forth this week, which is good to have multiple streams of the late night chill games. Pretty excited. I hope you guys are too. All right. Dr. Oink actually says, did you change the lighting today? Yeah, it's red. You see? As I've told you guys, if I change the lighting behind me, it completely makes the whole setup look different. Are you ready? Watch this. Ready? Looks different, doesn't it? Now, even I look a different color. Now, what if I do this? Now I look lighter. See that? So basically, depending on the backlight, it changes how I appear on camera. Look at that. Now I change color again. My skin color appears to change color depending on what color I have in the background. You see that? So there you go. Anyway, so welcome to the show. And today's a chill podcast, just so everyone knows. What we're going to do is we're going to try to talk about the schedule, relax a bit. There's a little bit of news in regards to the Activision and Microsoft, merger buyout. And it's interesting because this trial is now going on. And the Federal Trade Commission, which is a regulatory body in the United States, is trying to essentially, ask Microsoft all about this attempted merger buyout. and acting like it's going to be not in the best interest of consumers and gamers, but they just keep making themselves look worse and worse to the point where it seems like it just keeps helping Microsoft. We'll talk a little bit about that today, but there's not too much going on in the realm of game news right now. You know, the world's all been abuzz with other things that have nothing to do with gaming, which, as you know, I don't really get too much into. I don't really care about the sub incident at the Titanic, and now apparently there's an attempted coup in Russia. Wow. But we don't talk that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we're more relaxed and chilling and enjoying games. So, I'll get you caught up on how I'm going in Street Fighter 6, and we'll probably do an extended Q&A session today. Since particularly there's not that much else, going on in the realm of gaming. But that's not surprising. So, all right. So, ladies and gents, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're having a good weekend, first of all. Good variety of stuff for me. 2 straight days of all one kind of content, but now for the rest of the week, it's broken up where every day is 2 different things. Let's go through the schedule so you know what to expect. So, today it is DSP versus the Internet over on DSP Reacts. This is my weekly Clips React show, where on my sister channel, basically, I react to clips submitted by members. And the Ultra members, I watch their clips guaranteed, and the other members all compete in a playlist, which I now hit shuffle, and it's completely randomly selected who gets watched and who doesn't on the show. Now, check this out. Basically, this week, we have more videos than we've had in about a month. And I don't know if there's just a reinvigoration of the show. We actually have a few more members on the channel. Maybe that's what it is. But the last couple of weeks, it actually stagnated and slowed down a bit. This week, we have over 50 clips submitted. There's absolutely no way in a 3-hour show we're watching 50 clips. Even though some of them are very short, there's just no way we're getting through all of that. So, pretty exciting to see what you guys submitted this week. As you know, it's always a random selection. It's always chaotic. We don't know what we're going to watch. That's kind of part of the element of enjoyment and entertainment on that show, is that you never know what you're going to get, when you go to the DSP versus the Internet show. So I'm excited for that. I hope you guys will join me over there. What happens is when this podcast ends, a pop-up comes up and says, hey, go over there and, join us on that channel. You head over there and we'll be able to watch together and see what those clips are all about. Later tonight, at 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, it is the continuation of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. And this night, what we're going to do, our agenda, is to head further southwest on the map and attempt to either get to both of the dragon tiers that are in that region of the map. Because if we get both of those, there's only one left that we haven't gotten. And then we can finish the entirety of that story plot line. But also to get towards the Gerudo settlement, which I believe is the sand desert dunes area. And we'll see how that goes. All right. So I don't know how much progress we'll make. Every time that I play this game, it's like, oh, we're going to do it. And then we end up spending 3 hours getting wrapped up in all kinds of stuff. But let's see what happens. All right. Should be fun. And of course, very interactive and chill whenever I play Zelda later tonight. Tomorrow, Sunday, we will return to Final Fantasy 16 for my, I guess essentially it's my 3rd session of it. We'll continue on. We'll see what happens in the plot. Last time around, I had left off on kind of a cliffhanger where I had a 2v1 boss fight, and I narrowly beat it, but I beat it, and now we're rushing forward, and I ran out of time. So it's kind of a cliffhanger, but we will continue on with that tomorrow and see where the game goes. Tomorrow night, it is more Diablo 4, which I'm excited for because we made great strides in Act 2, and it looks like we're actually approaching the end of Act 2. So we'll see how that goes. Monday, the return of Street Fighter 6, and what I'm going to do on Monday is a variety multiplayer stream. Likely I'm going to pick 2 characters I didn't pick so far this week. So yesterday it was Chun-Li and Blanca, so probably Monday I'll pick either Lily or Zangief or both. I'm kind of debating if I want to pick one or both at this point, and see how it goes. But yeah, I'm thinking about, mixing it up a bit. And I haven't played Lily in about a week, and I haven't played Zangief in about a week, so I probably will do that as like the stream on Monday, okay? All right, I see we already have some trolls. I'm just going to get rid of them as I see them. All right, then Monday night, more Zelda. Okay, then Tuesday, more Final Fantasy, more Diablo. And then Wednesday is up in the air Likely we're going to want more Street Fighter, and then on the night stream on Wednesday, I'm not sure what to do. We have one extra stream of either Zelda or Diablo. We would have played each game twice. So maybe which one would you guys want to see more? More Zelda or more Diablo? I guess the question is what we'll be in the middle of while we play, right? Maybe we'll be in the middle of a critical plot line in one of them, and we'll want to get that extra stream in for advancement, you know? Plus, some people are saying if I just focus in on the Dragon Tears and the 4th dungeon, that I may be able to finish Zelda soon. Because after you beat all 4 dungeons, there's one big final dungeon that opens up, and I guess that's the finale of the game. And what some people have been saying is that really where the game takes 100 hours is if you absolutely take your time exploring every part of the map, fighting every optional boss and all of that, which you don't need to do at all. You can just, go right to the end of the game. And I'll be honest, I mean, yes, I know the game has a ton of content, but I'm in the midst of so many playthroughs, I do feel like I need to make a push to try to get advancement and wrap one of them up. And maybe it's Zelda, right? If we wrap up Zelda, the way I think about it is that maybe we could put a little bit more emphasis on the story mode of Street Fighter 6, which we have played only once for 3 hours, and that was it. Like, it's called World Tour. And I know some people are like, hey, you gonna ever play it again? It's like Yakuza, and we're excited to see you do it. And I'm like, you realize, the focus of a fighting game is the competitive nature of the fighting game. The World Tour mode's nice that it's there, but it's not the focus. And being that I already have so many chill stream games in the lineup, that's why we haven't played it. At any other time of the year, right? If we didn't have so many chill stream games, I likely would have been playing this World Tour mode all along. We would have been doing like daytime streams of multiplayer and night streams of World Tour, but I'm already playing so many other games and juggling them at once. That's why we haven't really played it at all, right? So, we'll see what happens. But let's see this week how much advancement we get in each game and go from there. Really, the next major playthroughs that I'll be playing are going to be sometime in July. I know that I think Pikmin 4 is coming out, and I think there's another one too in July at some point. I don't know yet because here's the deal is, coming up is the special marathon event 1 week from tomorrow. It's called DSP's DSP for short, but what that stands for is DSP's Digital Summer Party. And during that event, one of the major segments right at the beginning that we're going to do is we're going to painstakingly go through this new game release schedule that now has been updated since we had all these digital events this month that released all these release dates. And we're going to look at every game and say, all right, is this a game that you guys want to see right away? Is this a game that you guys want to see at all? And if you want to see it but we can't see it right away, is this one that we should be willing to maybe play later? Because there's so many games coming out in September, October, and November. There's absolutely no way I could play them all at launch. But maybe what we could do is take certain ones that look interesting and delay them. Say, maybe we'll play it, in December when there's almost no new releases. That'll be the time to get around to it, right? So, I'm excited for this event because it's going to basically outline my blueprint of games that I'll be playing for the rest of the year and get us all hyped for them, all right? But also during this event. So again, this is 1 week from tomorrow. This is Sunday, July 2nd. Mark your calendars. It's a marathon event. There will be special summertime festivities. There will be special tier maker rankings of food and fun, maybe Street Fighter. There's going to be probably some Street Fighter 6 gameplay during the event, just for variety's sake. There's going to be recipes that my wife's going to be making. Special food that I'm going to be having during this event as a mukbang / feasting with Phil, whatever you want to call it. And certain segments, I think there's going to be 2 things that are more like summertime entrees, and one will be like a summertime dessert. So that's cool. It's going to be a great event. I hope that you'll join me for DSP's DSP on Sunday, July 2nd. But that's really when we're going to sit down and say, okay, here's really what's coming out next and what I'm going to be playing next. Okay? So there you have it. Very nice. Also coming up in July, special React event. I'm going to start planning it soon. It's going to be a day of machinima. What do I mean by that? Well, June the King, the person who I've been watching documentaries of over the last year, is a documentary maker on YouTube, made a documentary about machinima. It's about 50 minutes long, and apparently it covers all the ups and downs of this company that used to be one of the biggest partnership companies on YouTube and how they literally burned themselves to the ground. I was a partner with them for 6 years. I held out while most other YouTubers who were with them jumped ship. I stayed with them for the maximum amount of time that I could, and man, did I experience a bunch of different attitudes, a bunch of weird things going on with this company. What's weird about it is I probably have more knowledge and interaction of this company than most people on the internet, because yeah, I've merch from them, I have swag from them, I have a bunch. I was searching my emails the other day, and guess what? I have all the emails I ever talked with them about contract negotiations, plans to go to E3, what do you call them? Money making opportunities. Remember when the incident happened and how they handled that and all that? I have it all. I literally have it all saved. So what I'm going to do is a special day-long React event in July, probably mid to late July. And on that day, we're going to have a, I guess, I don't know, we have to think about what we want to call it. Machinima's, a Machinima party, but it's not really a party because they're dead. So what do you call it? You're celebrating their death? The dancing on the grave day or something? Like, what do you call it? Funeral? The Machinima funeral, but they've been dead for years. It's a little late for a funeral. But anyway, what I will do is I will react live to the June the King documentary, but I'll also be adding all this other supplemental material to it, including showing you all these cool things that I have, talking about the stories from the emails and things. So it's going to be a lengthy event with tons of stuff. If anything, it's going to be a very in-depth coverage of Machinima, maybe one of the most in-depth ones ever on the internet, because no one really covered it. June the King's really the first person to cover it in depth at all. So the posthumous party, the Machinima posthumous party. All right, let's start thinking of a name for this. We have to think of a name for this special event in mid to late July, because in early July will be the DSP, and then late July we'll have this other special event. Okay, it should be pretty fun. So let's figure that out. And then the next major event I'm doing is actually my anniversary celebration. For those who don't know, I've been an internet content creator now for 15 years. It all started September 2008. I still remember making the video. Star Wars, The Force Unleashed, Star Destroyer gameplay sucks. Yeah, I remember the video. I remember making it. I remember I was sick. I had a sore throat when I made the video. And ever since then, I've been consistently putting out gameplay content 15 years. So it's going to be a celebration where we're going to do so many special things. There's going to be a marathon event of reacting in a retrospective nature to my past. There's going to be a special event where I'm going to react to Project 7 again. Because now, years later, I've reacted to the John and Howard video and addressed all of the stuff that they said about me many, many years ago. And that can now be taken in as a factor into the whole Project 7 deal. In fact, I have some special things planned for that. In addition, we're going to do retro playthroughs at that time, probably in August into early September before the new releases hit. I'm planning on maybe doing some special old games, like maybe Saints Row 2 or something like that for my early days as a YouTuber, as a retro throwback. So that's going to be coming up. That's going to be exciting as well. That's coming up, like I said, probably like mid to late August into early September. The Dark Side Phil 15-year anniversary special. By the way, I know my throat is sounding a little strained today. It doesn't hurt, but I think it's because of allergies. It's been having some issues, so please bear with me if it sounds like I'm losing my voice. I'm really not, but it is what it is this time of year, right? Okay, so all that is coming up. I hope that sounds good to everyone, and that's what you can expect soon. Now what I would like to do is talk about my performance in Street Fighter 6 yesterday and get everyone caught up on how it went. So yesterday was Street Fighter Friday, which is what I'm calling Fridays for now, because all day long on Fridays I'm playing Street Fighter, okay? We started off yesterday with a new character, Chun-Li. Now, I went into this basically knowing more about the game than I did when I was using new characters 2-3 weeks ago. Now I understand the nature of dash cancels, drive impact, and all of that, wall bounces and the like. So I'm trying to implement that into gameplay of any new character that I pick. And when I selected Chun-Li, it was a little weird because Chun-Li seems like a good mid-range neutral character, meaning she has good normals, which she can immediately from mid-range, if she hits you or counter hits you, she can dash cancel into big combos. But the weird part about it is, unlike other characters that play similarly, like Cammy, Ken, Jury, to name a few, she doesn't seem to have a lot of people playing her online. And I was wondering, I wonder why. because she seems like a perfectly good character, right? She seems like she has a lot of tools, a lot of interesting things. The interesting thing about Chun-Li, unlike a lot of those other characters, she's not just pure rushdown. She can be played as a hybrid. She can be played as a mid-range character with fireballs and keep away. She can also rush down. So she has like options with the way that you can play her, and you can actually change that up in the middle of a fight if you want to. So the question is, why aren't a lot of people online seemingly playing Chun-Li? And I know my answer now. The answer is because in order to do her best punishes, combos, and strategies, you need to do a stance cancel. This is way different than what I thought. I would watch some videos of her on Thursday night on YouTube. And I'm watching these top players do these combos, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So you get a hit in, you dash cancel, you do a jab, back fierce, and then light kick, and then there's an option select. Because you have the option to do a throw that could cancel through things. Not option select, a mix-up. You could do a throw, you could do an overhead, you could do, a drive impact, you could go for a combo. You have all these options, right? And I'm like, so that's pretty good. So she's really good then. And then when I actually went to try her yesterday, I realized that's not what I thought it was. It's not just a basic combo. There's a whole deal with Chun-Li where to get her better combos, you need to cancel your combo into a stance, a special stance that she has, which is a whole motion input. And then you need to hit a different button, and then you need to cancel from that into another move. So it's kind of very, very complicated. Compared to other characters who are way more straightforward with their dash cancels and rush downs, Chun-Li is one of the more complicated characters in the game. So what this means is that she's execution heavy, okay? But if you can master that execution, the reward of mastering it seems high. If you can get those combos off all the time, if you get that muscle memory down and you memorize those stance cancels, those combos are very rewarding and give her a lot of advantage during a competitive fight. But the thing is, I'm using her for the very first time. I don't have that muscle memory. I'm just learning in training mode. I'm like, oh crap, that's how you do it? I had no clue. I thought it was going to be way easier than that. So for me, I'm trying to learn. I'm like, oh man, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. So essentially what ended up happening was I picked Chun-Li and I thought I was going to have a better time than I did. But because of the nature of how difficult it is to learn this character, it ended up being way more challenging for me. And so, I took her online and immediately realized, man, those combos are not going to be viable unless I practice, which I can't do if I'm playing online, right? So I just tried to learn basics. I tried to learn some moves that will, that are good reversals and good basic combos, wall bounce combos, basic things. I know for a fact I was doing poorly. I was dropping a lot of combos and things that I thought I knew how to do, and then I was messing them up. I didn't know spacing. So with her, she has a really good move. It's forward or back plus medium punch. She stretches her arm out all the way like this and just pokes like this, right? She's poking constantly. And it's a really good move. It actually is an incredibly good priority, and you could combo off of it or dash cancel off of it. The problem is, if you're doing the move, you could accidentally get her fireball, which is back forward punch, because you're holding back and forward. When you press it, you could get it by accident. And it was happening a lot. We're like, okay, here we go. Oh, shit, fireball by accident. And then they just jump and get a giant punish combo. I'm like, oh, no. So, in general, my first session with Chun-Li, okay, I like the character. Okay? I enjoy the character. I think she's a very big potential character for tournament play and or, the level of challenge it is to play her. I think she's tough to use, but very rewarding if you master her. Okay? I obviously haven't mastered her. I have a very basic understanding of how to use her. Now, the good news is, I had a winning record, which surprised me. I didn't think I was going to have a winning record with Chun-Li, because she was very difficult to use and much, more complex than I thought, she was going to be. But overall, in the 3 hours, I guess it was about 2 hours of ranked play I used her, 83 round wins, 65 round losses. Overall, a winning record. And in addition, if you want to know actually matches rather than rounds. So when I was in casual play, I got 10 wins in casual play. I didn't even lose in casual play. I was dominating. So then I went to ranked. And when I went to ranked, I got placed in gold 5-star. And I played for about 2 hours, and I got 29 match wins and 23 match losses, a 56% win ratio, and I earned my way out of gold into platinum 1 star. Okay? And overall with her, 39 wins, 23 losses for a 63% win-loss ratio, but keep in mind, a lot of those were in casual play. So I don't really know if you want to, hold those as the standard of what I really did, because casual play is mostly people just starting off new and not really knowing what they're doing, right? So, that's good. Overall, I won more than I lost with Chun-Li on my first attempt with her. Would I like to use her more in the future? Yes. But it's going to take a lot more practice to get her down and learn these combos and everything, because I'm not even using her best combos right now, okay? So that was Chun-Li. A good start for a new character. Then on the night stream, I decided I wanted to do Blanca for Friday Night Fights, as I attempted to get Blanca to be my first earned diamond ranking. What I mean by that is, Honda is diamond, but I only used Honda once. It was like launch day. No one knew how the hell to play the character. And because of that, I was getting tons of wins with Honda when I didn't even know how to play the game. So he got diamond rank and is still there, which is kind of silly, because I know that I really don't even know how to use Honda. In fact, if you look at my win-loss record, I lost more than I won. I had 29 wins and 31 losses. So I know if I pick Honda again and I play in diamond, I'm just going to get bodied, right? So, I am on a journey to get better with Blanca. And let me tell you guys, over the last couple of times I've played with Blanca, I've learned a ton. I now have big combos for giant damage. I have options for every single range and every single situation. An insanely good anti-air situation where I could combo into level 3 super for ginormous damage and punish just on a simple jump. Drive impact combos, I got those down and they're going really well. Wall bounce combos I got. Dash cancel, this is critical. Having a good dash cancel combo is very important. And I have a really good one with Blanca. You just do low, medium punch. And if it hits, you dash cancel into this giant flipping, lifting combo that does like maybe 30% plus damage, even from mid-screen. Okay? Now, some things that I'm currently working on. I'm currently working on corner mix-ups. When you get someone in the corner, all right, what you want to do is lock them in there so they can't get out. And with Blanca, you essentially have like 4 options in the corner. Option number 1 is walk forward and throw. Option number 2 is a dash cancel combo mix-up. So if you try to attack, if it hits, you do the combo. If it blocks, then you go for a throw mix-up. You could do a hit cancel into drive impact for a wall bounce combo. Or you could try to bait them to jump. And if they jump, then you can anti-air with the up ball. Now, a 5th option that really isn't very viable but has worked is the command throw. I'd say the command throw is one of Blanca's worst moves, but it seems to still catch people online. Perhaps once I get to higher ranks, that will not be the case. But now, at least at 5-star platinum where I am, it's still catching people from time to time. You can't do it all the time, but every once in a while you use it, and it pays off because it does big damage. So, in the corner, I'm basically trying to learn how to get all of this stuff implemented. Now, another thing that I want to learn how to implement better is the little Blanca-chan doll. Here it is. I have Blanca-chan right here. Here he is. See him? So this doll can be electrified in the game. And you throw it out there, and it does various different things. And I know for a fact that there's mix-ups and things I can do in the corner. And yesterday I didn't really mess with those too much. But I'm aware that you can do this, and I want to get better with that. Because right now, basically from any range, I have good offense and good tactics with Blanca. So Blanca absolutely is my best character in the game right now. He's the one I've played more, and he's the one I'm doing the best with, and I'm ranking up the best with. All right? But I do want to play other characters too. I just want to let you guys know it's not just going to be all Blanca all the time. It's just weird to me that I own a Blanca t-shirt. I have Blanca-chan here. I have Blanca on the cover of Street Fighter 2 for SNES behind me. And it just so happens that Blanca's my best character in Street Fighter 6. Like, could it have aligned up any more perfectly? Right? And it wasn't intended that way. I didn't know that Blanca was even going to be good in this game. I had no clue. But hey, sometimes I guess things just work out in mysterious ways, as they say, right? So, Blanca Mania. So how did I do yesterday? Yesterday I played 2 hours of Blanca. All right? I got 37 wins and 19 losses for a grand win-loss ratio of 66%. That's 2/3 of the time I'm winning. And the truth be told, in reality, I actually would have done a lot better if I didn't have, input errors and execution errors. I'm still dropping combos. I'm still getting the wrong moves. There were several times where I wanted to do combo into electricity and I go down to the ground flat, which is, just think about this. To go down on the ground, it's down and 2 punches, okay? Electricity is quarter circle back and 2 punches, meaning it's a completely different input. It's a completely different direction. You're not holding down. You're holding down quarter. So you're doing a quarter circle. You're not even in a down direction anymore. So how is it that I'm doing a combo? Light kick, jab, quarter circle back, 2 punches, and the game still thinks I'm holding down on the joystick when I'm not. It's got to have something to do with the lax inputs. It has to have something to do with it. That this game is storing inputs and or thinking that I'm still doing things that I've long stopped doing. And I think it's going to be essentially a situation where I just need to play as much as I can, and the better I will get over time as I get used to it. Right now, I'm still not used to it. I don't get why I'm still getting moves I'm not doing. But it's got to be something that I have to adjust to. It's not going to be me sitting here and yelling at the game isn't going to fix it. I need to actually play more, and I need to get used to it and adapt. That's the only way I'm going to get better at this game. So I'm not going to give in. I'm not going to get upset. I'm not going to say, oh, fuck this game and throw things. I'm just going to say, well, I'm mad in the moment. I'm going to continue on. I'm going to try to persevere. I'm going to try to get better. And that's what I've been trying to do. And, I apologize because some people, they've watched me play Street Fighter 6 and they see my rage when this happens. When I'm in the middle of a round and it's the end of the round and, the move drops. I'm like, oh, I had it won. I get so upset. And people are like, dude, like you really get tilted. You get full of rage. I'm like, yeah. Because here's the thing. There's a couple factors involved. Factor number one, all right? You get a lot of adrenaline and stuff pumping through you when you're playing a competitive match like this. This is a game that I've played competitively since the 1990s. And when I play Street Fighter competitively like this, it gets the juices flowing. It really does. It gets my heart rate up and I get excited. And you get that feeling of euphoria when you hit that combo that does crazy damage and you do that cool mix up in the corner and it pays off and you win the round. You're like, yes. But it goes vice versa. It goes the opposite way when you're playing and something goes horribly wrong that you didn't intend to do. It's not that you did it correctly, because likely the fact that you're getting the wrong move means you inputted wrong. If I'm getting the wrong move, I probably fucked it up. It's my fault. But that doesn't mean that I'm just happy about it. You know what I mean? Like, I get really upset about it. And some people are like, well, other people, they laugh it off. Well, I don't know about laughing it off. Really, I'll be honest, like for me, I should be upset about it. Because if I get upset about it, now I'm going to try to do better. As opposed to if you're just laughing it off and you don't really care, well then, are you really motivated? I don't know. Maybe some people just handle stuff differently. For me, I do get heated. I do get upset. I get pissed when I know exactly how to win a game or a round. And I know all I need to do is this one thing, and I swear I do it, and I get something different, and then I lose. I'm like, that is the other thing about this game, is that one mistake can lead to a person getting a drive impact or a jump in, and it leads to a giant 50-60% damage punish combo. And you're like, dude, all because my move didn't come out. Like, I swear I did the right input, and this is what I got to deal with now, right? So, different people deal with things in different ways, right? And I deal with it in a lot of ways with being upset in the moment. Overall, I'm loving Street Fighter 6. I'm getting better at it. I want to keep playing it. So understand that in those moments when I'm really upset because my stuff didn't come out, that's what it is. It's not me hating on the game or anything like that, all right? But another thing that I do want to address that some people seem to be misconstruing. There are situations where I'm getting upset at the players I'm facing because they're essentially all doing the same exact patterns and random stuff, and they're getting away with it online. Yeah, that upsets me because it's the same thing that happened in Street Fighter 4. It's the same thing that happens in all these games. It's an online setting. In an online setting, you can get away with a lot of stuff because there's always going to be added delay when you're playing online. Just to give you guys some examples, these people who online are just throwing out drive impact moves left and right, up and down, will not get away with it in an offline setting. The people who every opportunity they have do a random overdrive reversal move. It used to be EX Dragon Punch, right? But now it's overdrive reversal. That's what we call it in Street Fighter 6. Everyone who just does it constantly, that's 100% online bullshit. They only get away with it because they're playing online. These people don't even understand the basic concepts of how to play a fighting game, but they get away with stuff because they're playing in an online environment. Yeah, it's upsetting. As someone who played high-level competitive play in Street Fighter for many, many years, to see people just spam shit online, and there's really not much you can do about it because you're playing online, you know? Like, well, they're just going to keep getting away with it, keep getting away with it, keep getting away with it. There's almost only so much you can do, because here's the thing. People are like, well, why don't you just do what they do and get away with it? I could, but then I'm basically dumbing myself down to the point where I'm playing the game like a moron, and then when I actually play someone good, I'm going to get bodied. That's the thing. When you're playing at a high level, you've got all these things in mind. You know, the enemy might do this mix-up or that, and you have to be ready for it. Not, oh, they're just going to throw out a random, completely unsafe move that just so happens that if it hits because it's a Hail Mary move, they could get a giant reversal combo. You're not thinking that because a fucking intelligent person doesn't do that in a competitive fighting game. But someone who doesn't know, so, oh, whatever, throw it out, duh, and then it fucking hits you. You're like, whoa, I wasn't expecting that. Like, who the hell would have done that in a competitive match? No one who understands the game. Yet it hits me because I didn't know that they would be throwing that out constantly, right? So that's the thing. And that's a big factor in a game like this. You know, it really is. What's going to happen is, if I continue to play certain characters and I rank them up, once I get to the higher ranks, you're not going to see that bullshit spam anymore. You're just not. It's not going to happen, but I still have to deal with it. Even at 5-star platinum, I'm still dealing with it. People walk forward, fucking drive impact. Like, what are you doing? Like, why would I even think you're going to do that? Because you're so dumb, you could cost yourselves a whole round to do it. But then they do it, and like, oh my God. So anyway, yeah, when that happens, I get frustrated. Being honest, it's me being honest about the game and the gameplay. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, I can't teach you the ins and outs of competitive play of fighting games in a nutshell here quickly. But I'm just telling you, there's a reason to be upset about that stuff. Like, that's stuff that doesn't fly offline in a competitive environment. In addition, as I've already explained many times, there's a certain amount of gameplay in this game that's so similar, even though the characters are supposed to be different. So I can tell you right now, characters like Juri, Jamie, Cammy, DJ, Ken, just to name a few, because there's like probably 7, 8 characters. They all play almost the same. They have almost identical mid-range gameplay. They fish. Do you know what that means, fishing? All they're looking for is one hit. Because if they get one hit, their build allows them to do a dash cancel combo that is a ginormous punish combo for huge damage that then leads to an advantageous mix-up situation that keeps them on top of the match for the rest of the round unless you happen to get a random reversal or get out of it. And it's stupid because so many characters play like that. And there's so many characters that don't. And I like the characters that don't. You know, you're not going to get to do that with Blanca. You're not going to get to do that with Zangief. You're not going to get to do that with Lily. But there's so many characters who have that. And it just makes the game too similar. And so when I'm fighting a Cammy that literally is mashing jab and it beats everything, and then she dash cancels and gets me in the corner. Now I can't get out of the corner and the round is over. It's like, but you didn't do anything. You literally mashed jab. You didn't time it. You know what I mean? There was a Ken who literally was just walking forward, mashing medium punch, and just fishing for a hit. And then eventually it hit me once, dash cancel, giant combo. Now I'm in the corner, mix up, high low, mix up, throw, mix up, high low, mix up, throw, done. You hit me once. You literally legitimately hit me once. And that was the game. Because your build is so ridiculous compared to the other characters that you get away with this ridiculous safe nonsense. It's like, what skill was there? Did he catch me with it? No, he was just spamming it. And eventually it hit. Oh, that's it. Round over. Like, what? And that frustrates me. And that's me being honest about the meta of the game right now. If you don't like it, go watch someone else who's going to kiss the game's butt. I'm not going to kiss the game's butt. I like Street Fighter 6. I like that there's variety in the gameplay. It's not like Street Fighter 5 where everyone plays the same. But there's about half the cast who play the same. And that's not good. I feel like overall they need to mix it up a little more instead of just constant mid-screen, fishing for one hit, rush down, mix up in the corner, game's over. That's the meta of the game right now when it comes to half the cast. The other half the cast play completely differently, and that's where the variety lies. That's where the enjoyment is for me. Seeing the different characters play differently with different strategies. But when, again, half the cast is the same, that's annoying. Okay? So, listen, I'm gonna get full of adrenaline. I'm gonna get upset. when I drop inputs. I'm going to get upset if I lose to a style of gameplay that I don't feel is very challenging, you know? And so people are like, why don't you do it? Because I don't find enjoyment in it. I'm being honest here. Right now, if I were to pick Ken, and I were to learn these dash cancels and just do it constantly, mix up and get 5,000 wins. If I went right to a master level with Ken, I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't get any enjoyment out of it. I wouldn't. That's always been like me. I've always challenged myself to play with characters that I feel are my style and or I enjoy playing with more. And that's always been characters where it's a little bit weird, it's a little bit different. You need to react to what the opponent is doing. You need to fool them or mix up and maybe get a big punish. I don't like character where 1,000,000% it's just constant. Offense, 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 offense. I don't ever have to stop because I'm perfectly safe in everything I do. Offense, 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 mash, 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 cancel, mash, mash, cancel, mash, mash, cancel, cancel, cancel. It's obnoxious. Really. And I know that's a perfectly valid style of gameplay. It's been in many, many different fighting games, right? It has. But I just hope that Street Fighter 6 doesn't become Rushdown Fighter and there's only 5 characters that are really viable in a tournament. I hope that's the case, that it doesn't, it doesn't become that. I really hope that. Because right now, that's at the level I'm playing, that's what's beating me. It's not like I'm being outplayed. People are fooling me. People know how to get around my stuff. It's, oh, I just do completely safe mid-screen stuff and it's all, 100% safe and there's nothing you can do about it. Deal with it, just get fucked. Like, and it drives me bonkers. Okay? So anyway, that's my feelings about Street Fighter 6 so far. I'm still loving the game, and I'm getting better with Blanca for sure. I ranked by the end of the night last night. I hit 5-star platinum, and I was like a good chunk, maybe a third towards diamond. So I think the next time I play with Blanca on like a dedicated stream, I might hit diamond, which will be good. Okay. Okay. Now, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Next time around, like I said, on Monday when we play again, likely I'll mix it up. I'll probably take a break from Blanca. So maybe Monday we'll go back to some characters like Lily or Zangief. What I really need to do, I feel like the next step in evolution of playing characters is learning the dash cancels, right? Zangief, I have no dash cancels. I don't even know what I'm doing. Lily, the only dash cancel I really know is like low fierce punch and a dash cancel forward, and then you can do an option into a throw or another low fierce punch, or maybe bait into like her Tomahawk Rise or whatever it's called, Tomahawk Buster. But I don't know what to do with her yet. I need to mess more with her to figure out what exactly is the best strategies with her, especially with dash canceling. So, we'll see how it goes on Monday when Street Fighter 6 returns to the streams. Okay? All right. The only one thing that I want to talk about here that is, in the realm of game news, as I told you guys, currently there's a trial going on, and it's the FTC basically grilling Microsoft on this whole Activision Blizzard merger. And all these different things coming out. Here's something that came out. Listen to this. A major reason that Microsoft actually acquired Bethesda and bought them out is because they heard Sony was looking into making Starfield exclusive to the PlayStation. They were going to do a third-party deal with them. So Xbox said, "No, we're not gonna put up with that," and they just bought the company outright. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Some other things. Phil Spencer said, "Every time that we ship a game on PlayStation, Sony captures 30% of the revenue that we do on their platform, and then they use that money to just try to do things to reduce Xbox's survival on the market. So they'll gladly take our games on their consoles, right, and make money on them, and then use that money to try to put us out of business. Doesn't that seem to be counterproductive and make no sense?" Yeah, it's competition, but it's weird competition, right? Phil Spencer also confirmed that Sony paid for Final Fantasy 16 to be exclusive to PS5 and skip the Series S and X consoles, that originally there were talks that it was going to be cross-platform, and Sony bought out the game. So it's weird because the FTC is essentially saying, well, if you buy Activision Blizzard, there's going to be this crazy monopoly. To which Microsoft is saying, do you not understand that it's the opposite? That Sony has been trying to create this air of unfair competition for many, many years, and we're struggling to survive in this game space. In fact, one of the things they actually said is we have lost the console war. That there, at one point there was a feeling of direct competition, but after time, we've lost. Like, we have no chance of winning this competition with Sony because they were so dominant last console gen. Everyone ran out and bought PS5, and we're struggling. And how can you say that us buying a company is going to somehow create a monopoly for us when we don't even have the market share of gaming consoles, not even close to what Sony has? It makes no sense, right? Hold on, I need to turn off. I just turned on my air conditioner because it's hot in here, but I have to turn off my fan now. Hold on. Ugh. And it is really weird because this whole trial going on, the FTC, which is the Federal Trade Commission, this regulatory body in the United States, they're so dead set on somehow believing that Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard would make some kind of a monopoly. It's like they're ignoring everything that's actually happened in the game space in the last 10 years with Sony. They're completely ignoring the fact that Sony has had so many exclusives, bought so many games to be exclusively on Sony consoles, that Sony dominated the last console gen, they're dominating this console gen. They're ignoring all these facts, and then they bring up these hypotheticals. They really do. So, if you buy Activision Blizzard, isn't it true that Call of Duty might be harder to get on PlayStation or blah, blah, blah? They're making up all this hypothetical shit. It's like they have this weird agenda, and I don't get it. I don't know what their agenda is. Like, why are they so dead set on Microsoft not doing this merger? You know what I'm saying? Like, something weird is going on. To me, anyway. It just doesn't seem logical the way that they're behaving. It just seems bizarre. But anyway. I guess we'll see what happens. You know, they're still going on with this trial. It was funny because I guess there was a situation where the FTC kept bringing the same points, and the judge basically told them, all right, enough of that. Let's move on. And the crowd went, ooh. Like, ooh, you got burned. Because you're supposed to be this big authority in the United States, and the judge in the case just told you basically to shut up because you don't have a point. But I guess we'll see. It's going on right now. All these Microsoft execs are testifying, and they're actually hoping that it's going to go through sooner rather than later once the trial's over. So I guess we'll see what happens. I don't know, man. It seems like, it just seems so weird. But isn't it weird how business works in America? Like, this was announced, 2 years ago now? This merger? And here we are 2 years later, and we still have worldwide regulatory bodies weighing in on it. And we have this weird trial going on. It's like, what is happening? It's supposed to be a business deal to buy it, right? It's just so odd. And, you know, the resolution, what's going to happen? Is it going to go through or not? I don't know. At one point, I thought it was a shoo-in. I was like, yeah, I think it's going to happen no matter what. But now it's kind of like, there's so much, it's taking so long, and so much crap is going on to convolute the situation that it makes you wonder, after all this work and all this time, is it actually going to come to fruition or not, right? It actually makes you question. It seems like everything is conspiring against this situation to make this buyout not go through for some reason, right? I just feel like it's some weird anime arc or like a soap opera arc where, like, every time you defeat something or another roadblock is passed, something else comes out of nowhere, right? Did you know that there was really a villain hiding in the corner the whole time, and now they reveal themselves in the final hour to thwart the merger, right? Like, what's going to happen next? Something's going to happen, right? Anyway, I'll continue to follow the story when more news happens, all right? All right, I got some shout-outs to do. Let's do some shout-outs here, and then we're going to open it up to Q&A. So our first shout-out of the day is on the YouTube side of things from Cyber Showdown, who did a super chat. It says, are you going to play Street Fighter World Tour? How would you rank Street Fighter 6 among the entire series? Okay, so funny you ask about World Tour. I was just talking with my wife about this last night, because she was like, and by the way, I'm sorry about my throat. Like I said, I'm stupid allergies have been bothering me. So last night, my wife says, have you played World Tour at all? I said, well, I played that one session like 2 weeks ago, 3 hours, and that was it, because, you know, everyone just wants to see me play the game competitively. And, you know, if this were another time of the year where there wasn't also Zelda and Diablo and now Final Fantasy, I would be playing World Tour. I'd be balancing the World Tour mode with online play, and I play online a lot more, but, World Tour would essentially be like a late night chill stream. The problem is there's no time for late night chill streams right now. There's just not, right? Like, there's too much going on. With other games, I don't have open time slot for this. So I played it the once. It seems perfectly fine. Seems like something I'd like to do as a chill stream later on. It plays kind of like Yakuza. But right now, I just can't do it. I'm too focused on the main game, right? So here's the deal. If I continue to play all the games I'm playing, let's say, oh my God, excuse me. Let's say, for example, in the next couple of weeks, maybe I wrap up Zelda, right? Maybe if I play it 2 to 3 times this week, and maybe next week I play it 2 to 3 times, I'm playing another 12 hours, maybe we can beat the 4th dungeon, do the story elements, the 5th dungeon, and beat it. I don't know how much is left. But if I beat Zelda, I would say the next thing I would want to do is play more of World Tour mode. I would absolutely want to do that. And I'm sad that I can't get to it. I know some people like the mode, but there's just not enough real time to mess with it. So eventually I'm going to get to it. I am. Eventually we're going to get to that mode, and there's content in it. There's to unlock and stuff. Like I said, you unlock character skins and in-game currency and stuff by playing it, so it makes sense to play it. But I just don't have time for it right now. Okay? So I'll get to it eventually. Now, where would I rank Street Fighter 6 among the entire series? Well, first of all, we're only going to rank the 6 games. Okay? Top 6. So let's go in order of worst to best, shall we? I would say Street Fighter 1 is the absolute worst. It wasn't even meant to be a competitive game. It really shouldn't even be ranked, but just for the sake of ranking all the numbered games, Street Fighter 1 is the worst, right? Then after that, now you get into real subjective stuff. Because here's the thing. How do you compare? Let's give you an example here. Street Fighter 3, new generation, when it first came out, was an atrociously bad game. Completely unbalanced, completely broken characters. The parry system was also broken. Like, everything about the game was broken. It's like they didn't test it competitively or know what they were doing. So that first version of the game is terrible. By the time that they got to the third version, Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, that game's like a masterpiece, right? It really is. All the characters are varied and different and play completely differently. The parry system was refined to the point where everyone had an equal chance. Like, it's a really great game, but it's funny how it started off so bad, and by the end, it was so good. So now you compare that with, like, Street Fighter 5. Most people would agree Street Fighter 5 was the same. Street Fighter 5, when it started, was atrociously bad. The online play was laggy as shit. Had the most input delay of any game. The character selection was not great. But over time, over many rebalances, over many improvements, over many DLC releases, people would argue that by the end of the life cycle of Street Fighter 5, that it actually was a much better game. Similar to how Street Fighter 3 was. I would almost say that they're probably around equal, Street Fighter 3 and 5, right? What about Street Fighter 4? I feel like Street Fighter 4 by default should be ranked higher. And the reason I say that is because it's the game that reinvigorated fighting games. At a time when there was fighting game stagnation and nothing really going on. When Street Fighter 4 came out, it reinvigorated everything. Fighting games became mainstream again. Everyone wanted to play Street Fighter, right? Everyone aspired to try out this game. While for the longest time, over a decade, people had stayed away from fighting games because they felt like they were too hard to play. Street Fighter 4, to some extent, changed that. And also, Street Fighter 4 played well from start to finish. It wasn't like, oh, the beginning it was crap, and then by the end it was good. No, it was actually pretty good consistently through, although admittedly, I didn't like a lot of the balance changes they kept doing, but still, the game was consistently playable, right? But now you're like, okay, what about Street Fighter 6? You can't really rank Street Fighter 6. Street Fighter 6 is too early. Early on, it's a great start, I would say. The online play has been quite good, and I like that there's character variety and the characters play different. But the meta hasn't really even been established yet. We're way too early in the life cycle of the game to even know what the game will be at a competitive level. But you know me, I'm always going to say Street Fighter 2 is the best. It's the original. It's the one that started it all. Has 5 iterations. By the time they hit Super Turbo, they perfected this formula. It's interesting. It's balanced. The characters play completely differently. There's multiple versions of each character with the classic or the Super Turbo version. It's a superb game, and I don't think I'm ever going to think. Honestly, in my mind, I think Super Turbo will always be in my head the game that put fighting games on the map, that made fighting games competitive, and so many games still bite off of Super Turbo for different things. You know what I'm saying? So, Street Fighter 2 is always going to be the best for me, you know? But I guess the question, where does Street Fighter 6 rank? You can't answer that. You can't answer. It's too early. Right now, it's quite good. That doesn't mean that in the long run it'll stay quite good, or maybe in the long run it'll be even better. I don't know. There you go. Okay. All right. Let's continue. It looks like I had one overnight tip. And it is a $30 tip, and it is from Game Trekker. Thank you to Game Trekker for the $30 tip. Let's get you up on the leaderboard. Let's see what you have to say. All right. He's good shit in Street Fighter 6 yesterday. Unsurprisingly, I haven't watched it all yet. As usual, I'm counting your wins and losses. It gave me a cross-section of the experience. You were sure at the end of the first stream you lost more than you won with Chun-Li, but you actually were ahead on wins, even without counting casual matches. I'll be back with my full thoughts on Monday. That's when you're playing Street Fighter next. That's correct. That's the next Street Fighter stream. As for today's stream, I did 2 submissions this week. One Ultra one that I won't spoil, and one regular one that you'll see today if the RNG wins. The regular one is a recent video by Sajam, who I mentioned in one of my tips yesterday. I want to say here the main message of the video, while good, is not why I submitted it. It's as a lesson that you already learned when competing back in the day. My reason for the submission is mainly the statistic he shows about players' ranks in Street Fighter 6 and the short discussion of it. Sounds good. I hope we get to that. We don't know because it's random. The standard submissions for DSP versus the Internet are in a randomized order playlist. So we may see that video. We may not. If we do, I'm sure it's going to be interesting. That sounds interesting to hear a known player analyzing the game and talking about the ranking system. I'd love to hear that. So, cool. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we have for now. Now, as I said, I didn't have too much else to talk about today. So, we're going to open it up here. And if you guys would like to ask me a question, please tag me in the chat. Let's do a little bit of Q&A before we begin here. Okay? Derek says he hopes that I check out AEW Fight Forever. It comes out Thursday, June 29th. I'm going to be honest with you, Derek. I don't think I'm going to check it out. You want to know why? I mean, I didn't even buy this year's WWE game. I didn't even buy it or play it, right? The few fantasy matches I've done, I just did in last year's game, and they work perfectly fine. I don't know the wrestlers in AEW. I don't watch AEW, right? And at this point, I have no time for wrestling games. I'm in the midst of so many games as it is. The release timing is just poor for me. Not poor for everyone, but poor for me. Street Fighter is my priority. We got Final Fantasy 16 that just got added to the mix. We got chill late night playthroughs. When I beat those, people want to see World Tour and Street Fighter. I don't think we're doing it. Just being honest. I don't think we're going to get to it. Okay? So I'm trying to temper your expectations here. I don't think it's something that I'm interested in. So, okay. Do I still drink coffee or just carbonated stuff? I drink 1 cup of coffee with my breakfast, and I have 1 cup of coffee before I start my late night stream. So I have 2 cups of coffee a day. Outside of that, I drink carbonated water. This is actually flavored, but the label fell off. I drink carbonated water on my first stream. It's got a little bit of artificial flavoring in it. This one's supposed to taste like lime. And then on the late streams, I drink filtered water. I have a pure, P-U-R, a water filter in my fridge, and I drink filtered water at night. So I'm drinking clear water all day long, hydrating myself during my streams. I have 2 cups of coffee over the course of the day. Nick asked, do I miss pointing the camera at the TV to make a video? Your original Fallout 3 stream looks like potatoes. No, I do not miss it. Let me tell you, when I used to do that, that was so much added work and so much added tedium in reality. So not only am I playing a game, but I always have a camera right here blocking my view of the game because it's in front of me. So it's always blocking my overall view, and I just have to get used to it. I always have to keep my eye on the camera. Because back then, YouTube would not allow you to have endlessly long videos. That's one of the reasons I had the camera, so I could do 10-minute clips. So I would have to record, play 10 minutes, keep my eye on the video. Once it hits 8-9 minutes, got to stop it. If I didn't, and I upload a longer video, YouTube won't take it. And sometimes I would have to run the video through a video editor to split it into smaller parts so YouTube would accept the videos. YouTube was a very different animal over a decade ago. It was not even close to being the same to what the business is today. So, and yeah, on top of that, every scene, I had to be constantly changing things like the exposure and those settings for lighting, because the camera just basically using the lighting in my room and whatever was coming off the TV. If all of a sudden the game got super bright, the whole thing would adjust and now you can't see anything. If the game got super dark, you couldn't see anything. So I was constantly adjusting with a dial. I was adjusting the exposure settings and everything on this camera, and it was a nightmare. It really was like an insane amount of added work on top of everything else. So really, really annoying. So, yeah. What do I do when... Hold on. Oh, do I have any hobbies when I'm not streaming? Like, what do I do? When I'm not streaming, I hang out with my wife and my family. Obviously, I have a cat named Jasper. I play with him a lot. My wife and I love to relax and either listen to music, relaxing style music. We've listened to so much different music over the years. Cultural music for different parts of the world. What would you consider more relaxing, like atmospheric, environmental music? I can't remember what the word is. Ambient music. Lately, we've been listening to like smooth jazz. Okay, just relaxing stuff. Since we got HBO Max, now we're watching a lot of stuff on there. Food shows about food all around the world. Sometimes we watch video game playthroughs. We watched some people recently play Mass Effect 2. In the last few months, we watched people play Dead Space Remake, a little bit of Resident Evil 4 Remake, stuff like that. Currently, we just started watching someone play Star Wars Jedi Survivor. So, yeah, we like watching other people play games after I've beaten them, basically. So that way, there's no spoilers. I've already seen everything, but to see someone else's perspective on a game is pretty interesting. For example, this person playing Star Wars, they're playing it on PC, and the game's flawless. The game has 0 frame drops. It's smooth as butter. And I'm like, dude, completely opposite from my experience. Like, not even close. So, it just goes to show playing on a different platform can completely change your experience of a game. Derek says, I hope that we see more variety in videos today. I agree with you. As always, I guarantee you there'll be some stuff that's repeat stuff, but hopefully it's not all the same. I agree with you there. Did I play Metal Gear Rising? Yes, I did. I played Metal Gear Rising Revengeance. No, I've not seen any zombie in food. No, I have not tried the modern controls yet in Street Fighter 6. Everyone keeps asking me this. No, I haven't tried it. I'm sure for certain character builds it's going to be ridiculous. For example, I would think Lily is really good with modern controls because she doesn't have advanced combos to begin with. She has incredibly basic things she does. So as long as you're getting instant 360, instant rising tomahawk, instant level 3, instant condor rush, I think that's going to make her better. I think Lily would actually be a better character with modern controls because she's a simplified character. As opposed to any of these characters who are having more advanced dash cancel mix-ups, they're going to be harder with modern controls, right? So it really depends on the character build. Lady says, sorry guys, I'm sorry about my voice. Like I said, my throat today is strained because of allergies. Lady says, what do you think is best for Final Fantasy? Action-based, combo-heavy, or turn-based and strategic? It's hard for me to really say overall, this is better. Because Final Fantasy is the franchise that over time has changed so much, right? We've seen slow-paced turn-based. We've seen more active time turn-based. We've seen MMO style with a game like Final Fantasy 12, 11, 12, 14. We've seen more action-based, right? Final Fantasy 15 and 16. they're all fine games. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna point at one and be like, wow, that one really sucked ass. I don't think any of them did. They all have a bunch of production value, a bunch of refinement. They all work in their own right. It's weird how Final Fantasy manages to reinvent itself as much as it does, right? Well, other game franchises, you know, they tend to be the same every iteration. Final Fantasy always seems to be the opposite. I don't think that there's one clear-cut way to do it. I think there's always space in the gaming world for different kinds of RPGs. I think that you could still have a very valid turn-based RPG. Just look at how well Yakuza Like a Dragon did, right? Yakuza 7. How well it did. It did incredibly well. And it's a modern turn-based RPG, which a lot of people say, Dragon Quest is boring. Yeah, but then you played Yakuza Like a Dragon and you loved it. It's the same game. It's literally the same formula. But it's weird how people hate on things one day and love it the next just because it's a different company or whatever. You know what I mean? But I think they're all good. And I think they all can work. I think some of the backlash people are having right now from Final Fantasy 16 is that it is a really action-based engine, while Final Fantasy has always kind of had more of a strategic, plotted RPG style of turns, and, you know, it doesn't really do that. It's very different this time around, right? Okay. Derek says he's having lobster for dinner. What kind of lobster? You actually having a whole lobster you could crack open, eat it with butter, garlic sauce, or you can have like lobster as a component in another dish. You're having a lobster roll. How are you gonna have your lobster? And where are you eating the lobster? Excuse me. All right, guys, if you want to ask me a question, please tag me in the chat. Tub says Canadian lobster is on the cheaper side. Is it really? Like, honestly, the one reason most people don't eat lobster in the United States is the price. The price is just, it's too expensive. Lobster is very, very expensive here. So you try to eat it anywhere, you're paying a ton of money. You're eating the lobster at home. Wow. A homemade lobster is like rare, right? Most people in the United States, you're going out to a restaurant to get a lobster. You're not making one at home. The Skill Scholar asked, would we ever get a fish tank? Maybe we would. You know, here's the thing. Fish are great. Fish are very relaxing pets to have. Because a fish tank, essentially all you're doing, you're setting it up, you're feeding, and periodically you're draining and cleaning, right? There's not that much to it. But it can create a very relaxing atmosphere for you. A nice ambient noise of water running, seeing the fish move around and look cool and everything. That's very nice. However, unlike other pets, you can't play with your fish, right? Like with Jasper, he comes over, we play with him with toys, he runs around the house, we give him treats, he wants to snuggle, he wants his pets. He's a very personable, loving creature to have as a life companion, you understand? While a fish is a fish. It's just going to sit in the thing, swim back and forth, and eat food. And that's literally what it does. Like, that's it, right? I mean, you could spruce up a fish tank a bit. For example, if I were to get a fish tank, I would like to get one of those fish tanks that you get those little cleaner shrimp guys. Those things are cool. It's a shrimp that actually cleans the tank to help with the ecosystem, so you don't have to worry as much about cleaning the tank because those shrimp do the job for you, right? I really like that about it. So I would like to have maybe fish with cleaner shrimp and other things, so that way it's a different ecosystem, more interesting to watch them do their jobs every day rather than it just be a couple fish swimming around. So something like that. Yeah, something like that would be pretty cool, I feel. But I don't know. One day, would I like it? Yes. I think I would enjoy a fish tank at some point in my life. What I have to do is research. If you remember, many years ago, we used to have someone who came on these streams who was actually an aquarium guy, like a fish guy. And he hasn't been around in a while, but he used to come on and give us advice. And he had told me many years ago on a stream, he says, if you're ever interested in doing it, it's going to cost a lot of money, right? Like, you can set up an aquarium that costs like $800 to $1,000. But if you buy the right components and you set it up right at first, it could be a very easy aquarium to maintain as long as you're doing it properly. His name was Coral Guy, by the way, Coral Guy. as long as you do it properly up front. And you're going to pay a lot of money up front, but the upfront investment is worth it because then you have a nice tank and it doesn't take a lot of work to maintain. So that's probably what I would want to do. I would want to spend the money up front to get the better stuff. And that way it's not insane amounts of money constantly draining and cleaning and all of that. Instead, it's more simple to do, right? So there you go. Oh, not homemade lobster. It's pre-made, Derek? Oh, okay. Have I ever had mango chutney? I think I had it with a dish before. Or, no, you know, I had mango salsa. I don't know if there's a difference between chutney and salsa, but I definitely had mango salsa before. SD Charger says, I have sufficient a small tank. They're great. Though, oh, it's a troll. I'm gonna get rid of them. There's been someone coming in, just to forewarn everyone, all right? There's been someone coming into the stream recently, impersonating other chatters, pretending to be them when they're not. And then they're coming in and doing fucked up things like trying to spoil games and stuff. So just to forewarn everyone, you know, be careful if you see someone typing out longer messages and stuff. There's these assholes trying to spoil various games, and I banned them on site. So there you go. Derek says used to have fish and turtles in separate tanks. You know what we saw a few months ago at the pet store that was really neat? Little frogs. Itty bitty frogs. They're real small. They're like that small, but they're cool. They swim around the tank along with fish and other things. They look really cool. I'd like to get some little frogs. I think those would be really neat. Because they look cool and they swim and everything. They're actually interesting to watch. They're fun. No, not poison dart frogs. Oh my god, you incredible. Incredible. Poison dart frogs. Oh, really? Bookworm says once you get them home in a tank, they're going to die in a week. Really? The frogs die that fast? That sucks. I wonder. Is it a case where they're just not to be they're not meant to be in captivity, and these pet stores are all messed up, and they have them for no good reason? That's probably messed up, actually. Do I miss my hamsters? I mean, to some extent, Derek. Of course, I'll always miss the pets that I've had in the past, right? The hamsters were awesome pets. Little Cinnamon and Little Raisin, right? They were cute. They were always kind of wrestling around. They did all kinds of cute things, and you could play with Raisin in particular. Loved to be played with. You could take Raisin out, you could put her on your arm like this, and you could just keep putting your hands like this, back to back, and she would go and then run up your next hand, and then run up the next one, and she would just keep doing it, and you could do it endlessly. She loved it. She was, was playing around like that. But hamsters are great, but man, they don't last long. Only lasted about 2.5 years. Maybe I'll get hamsters again one day. Kat and I have talked about it, that we would like to get another pet, but the problem is we have a cat. And you're like, well, a bird. Can't do a bird. The cat will constantly be trying to kill the bird. All right, what about some fish? Oh, well, the cat will probably be trying to get the fish. What about hamsters? Well, those are rodents. Those are natural prey. So the cat's going to try to get you know what I mean? Like, when you get a cat that's a hunter, you basically have limited yourself. As opposed to if you had a dog, well, the dog probably isn't going to be bothering too many things. The cat will, you see? So, we definitely kind of limited ourselves getting Jasper. So, yes, I had a rabbit when I was very young, Derek. I had a rabbit when I was, not even a teenager yet. And, into my early 20s there, my parents had him. I think he lasted about 12, 13 years. Spawn Killer just did a super chat. He says, do not get a saltwater tank. It's very expensive. I spent $300 for a 3.5-inch fish. It's a pain in the ass to take care of it. All right. Well, there you go. Spawn Killer is saying, forget saltwater. It's not worth it. I would think, because don't you have to maintain the balance of the water and everything, right? Because it's very different. It's not just regular water to toss in there. You have to treat the water and everything, right? Is it the pH balance of the water or whatever? I don't know how it works. I don't know anything about fish tanks. You have to learn about acidity and the pH system. The Scale Scholar says, I have a 20-gallon saltwater. It is higher maintenance than my 40-gallon freshwater. Wow. Sounds like you want fresh water then. But I think those cleaner shrimp are saltwater, aren't they? Oh, man. I really wanted a cleaner shrimp. Son of a bitch. My wife likes the tang fish. You ever seen the tangs? She likes all varieties of tang. So, maybe we get a tang fish, but I don't know if that's saltwater or freshwater. You have freshwater cleaner shrimp? Oh, cool. At least they have freshwater cleaner shrimp. I used to drink Tang. Yeah, I used to drink Tang as a kid, too. It's the vitamin C mix. Is Jasper easy to handle? Depends. If he wants to be handled, he's fine. You can't really hold him for too long. He won't let you hold him for too long. If you're going to hold him, you got to get him the proper way where you hold him from his underside with one arm and kind of under his arms with the other arm. If you hold him like this, he's fine. If you just try to carry him, he wiggles and squiggles and he'll start kicking all over. And the problem is he still has his back claws. He doesn't know he still has his back claws. He doesn't understand the difference between his back feet and his paws. So he just kicks like crazy and he'll gouge you. He's got me bad. You saw my arm. I still have scars. I still have scars right here from months ago when he jumped up on my arm and he just dug right in, and now my arm's all scarred up from it. You know, because he doesn't realize his own sharpness of those claws. Spawn Killer did a super chat. He says, I spend probably $100 on water every other week. I am not getting a saltwater tank then. There's absolutely no way I'm spending $100 on water every other week. That's ridiculous. What upcoming game am I most hyped for? I don't know. Ask me that question during the digital summer party when we do the schedule update. That's the best time to ask me that question. Once we go through the schedule and I've looked at all the games coming out and we've, hammered in the ones that I'm definitely going to play, and then ask me. Now I don't even know what's coming out at this point. I've cleared my mind of it. I don't even want to think about it right now because I'm in the midst of so much, but we'll think about it in about a week, a little over a week from tomorrow. We're doing well, CJ. Felix the Mate says you don't have to clean a fish tank every week. How often? How often do you have to clean a fish tank? I'm just curious. I don't know. I know nothing about it. Obviously, I wouldn't want to do something that's high maintenance. It takes a lot of work. Yes, DZ Ape, I remember my old calendar videos. I haven't had a calendar on my wall here in about 3 years. Now I just go through a few times a year, and this is a good opportunity during this marathon to do it with all of you live. It's a nice way to do it. Never had a bird as a pet ever, Goldfish. My wife did. She said when she was young, she had a pet parakeet. But I've never had one. Depends on the fish, depends on the tank, depends on the number of fish in the tank. So there's no answer. There's no definitive answer about how much upkeep it takes to have a fish tank. There you go. Goldfish says if you get a bird, they poop like crazy. Hooey, really? They're poopers, huh? Pooper doops. Would I ever taxidermy a beloved pet? Probably not. I don't think so. I think that just having the memories in your head of that pet is enough. And, every once in a while take a picture. You have a picture that you could save of your beloved pet, but I don't think I would ever taxidermy a pet, no. Felix the Mate says about every other week, so every 2 weeks you clean a fish tank. Reptiles are more fun. Tortoises can live for 40 years. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about having a pet that lasts a super long time either. Like, I'm 40. Realistically, how old am I going to live? If I'm lucky, I'll live to like 80. If I'm lucky, right? So, knowing that, do you want to get a pet that you know is going to last a long time? I feel like kind of like that's irresponsible. Like, I'd probably think the longest life of pet I would want to have is maybe 10 to 15 years tops, right? You just don't know. In life, you just don't know what your life situation, what's going to happen to health, what's going to happen to money. You don't want to have a commitment. Oh, I bought a turtle that I have to raise for 50 years. Are you going to be alive? Right? Seriously. Oh, I'm just getting started. I'm being asked now, how long do you think I'll do YouTube? I'm just getting started. I feel like I'm just hitting my stride. Listen, here's the deal. I've been there, done that. I've been virally popular on YouTube many years ago, and it was fleeting, right? It really was. And now I've gotten to the point where I've dedicated enough fan base that likes what I do and follows me wherever I go and wants to see me make content. And when I try new things, it usually catches on. Like, take a look, we have a React channel. Is it super popular? No. But it's making me some money. It's a variety of content. Every once in a while, it takes off when there's something special going on. Like, I guarantee you, we're going to do tier maker stuff. We're going to be doing this special machinima event, right? We're going to be doing some special stuff, and it's going to make that React channel pick up again. And then, you know, in the future, I might do other kinds of content. That's the thing. Like, I like the fact that no matter what I'm doing, people like what I'm doing and support it. And I feel like I could be going for the rest of my life, quite frankly. That as long as I maintain my work ethic, that I can keep entertaining people. And I can keep stuff going to the point where, you know, keep it rolling. Now, it doesn't mean I'm going to do the same content forever. As I get older, I definitely can't be a full-time gamer. But maybe I could switch it up and do commentary. I could switch it up and do other talk of other things. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't all have to be based on video games. Right now, video games are still my forte, but long term they probably won't be. We'll see. Let's see here. What's hilarious, okay, I'm going to read this. It's a $1.30 tip. It's someone who disagrees with me, which is fine. But then when they disagree with me, they essentially are discrediting my opinion. So, as you know, I've been a little critical of Final Fantasy 16. I feel like they're trying too hard to be edgy, too hard to be like Game of Thrones. And it's both with the excessive gore, the swearing, and the sexual content. So allow me to read this. I saw your really immature reaction. So immediately they're categorizing it as immature. To the Final Fantasy 16 romance scene, I feel like a mature adult. As a mature adult, you go a little overboard with your reactions. It's perfectly normal for people to have digital crushes if they're in meaningful relationships. I'm sure I'm not the only one who shares that sentiment. You don't have to be dramatic about romance in video games. It's all innocent fun. So, by the way, why didn't you bring up my comments about the violence and the swearing as well, which I always also said? Why is it only the romance that you're focusing in on? Isn't that interesting? Maybe because you're trying to prove an agenda that doesn't exist. Perhaps? Because I said the same thing. I said the gore, it's way too excessive. The swearing, they're trying to be like Game of Thrones. That's why they're going to that extreme. But you ignore those two, and you only bring up the one. It's quite interesting, your straw man arguments that you bring up here, right? Because when you ignore 2/3 of what I said to try to prove your argument, it discounts what you're saying. You understand? Also, I didn't say that anyone who enjoys that kind of content is in the wrong. I said I don't like it. I'm not looking for that in a video game. Therefore, I get no enjoyment out of it, and I feel like it's superfluous. I don't need it, and it brings down the game. My opinion is valid. You don't get to disprove my opinion because you disagree with me. So it's hilarious that you're immature. No, it's not immature. I justified my opinion. Your opinion is immature because you ignored 2/3 of what I said, and you justified nothing. Thanks for the $1.30 tip and wasting all of our time. Okay. All right. We got time for like one or two more questions quickly before we set up for DSP Reacts and DSP versus the Internet. So last chance, if anyone has anything to ask or anyone wants to contribute and get a shout out, now would be your chance. Derek, I'm not interested in meeting any celebrities, no. I don't have any thoughts on the Titan sub situation. I don't understand why the Titan sub situation was a situation for the world to talk about to begin with. It's ridiculous and everyone just wanted to meme about it and waste everyone's time. So, there you go. Gaming Guru says we lost five human lives. We lose millions of human lives every day to very commonplace things: illness, car accidents, violence, crime. We don't talk about those like that, but the 5 people in the sub for some reason are worldwide news. Why? Why is everyone talking about it? Right? I mean, come on. No one is saying that the loss of human life, innocent human life, is fine. We're saying is, what's the deal with fucking hyping up this one story and it's what everyone's talking about for a goddamn week? Oh, by the way, now you find out that they passed away days ago. Oh, on to the next thing. Oh, there's the Russian military coup going on. What's the next thing? It's meme culture. It's stupid. There's no point in wasting time on it. Next movie I'll be reviewing, likely the next movie I'll be reviewing is the Dungeons and Dragons movie, which came out, a month or two ago? I received a digital copy from a fan. And so at some point this week, I will likely give it a look at night. And, I'll be reviewing it, just like I just did Avatar: The Way of Water. I'll probably review it by the end of the week on DSP Reacts. I received a $2 tip. Let's see here. Someone says, in 2015, I got a pet female tarantula. As a 30-year lifespan, I still have it to this day. I'll be in my 50s when it dies. There you go. And that's kind of what I'm saying is, let me put it this way. My life, as much as I like to say I love it, because I do, is a very tumultuous life. At any point, things go crazy. And, take a look in the last 10 years, how different things are in my life, how things have changed. My living situation is different. My content is different. My financial situation is different. Everything's different. To sit up today and say, oh, I'm going to get a pet that lasts 30 years. Well, how do I know what's going to happen in the next 30 years? That's kind of irresponsible. It's not like I have a stable life situation where I feel like I'm you know what I mean? Like, for me, I feel like I'm a very responsible person when it comes to that, where I would not want to take on any responsibility that I'm not 100% sure that I know that I could take on, because I'm the parent to that pet. As much as having a human child, you're responsible for that creature's life, and you're the caretaker, and you're the caregiver and the provider. And for you to say, I'm going to take on a pet that lasts 30, 40 years. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I'm living 40 years, and everything's tumultuous, and who knows how my next 10 years are going to go, right? I don't think that's very responsible. Just being honest. And you could disagree, and that's fine. I know a lot of people just go gung-ho into things in life without really thinking and planning, but I'm kind of the opposite. So. Okay. All right, guys. I think it is time for us to wrap up the show. A show that really was not too much about anything but Street Fighter, I know. But maybe tomorrow we'll have more to talk about with Zelda and all of that and what we see on the React show. But thank you all for a great Level 1 podcast. I hope you enjoyed the chill vibes as we are about to swing over to DSP Reacts for DSP versus the Internet. I want to say thank you so very much to continuously support all of my content here on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you all tomorrow morning for another one. Peace out and see you then.